Here's the real fun part about this job. We had to relocate the factory amplifier, and in order to do that, we had to build a new bracket. 2.5 millimeter aluminum bracket right here houses both the factory amplifier and the Helix V8 amp DSP. All thread serted, so the serviceability is pretty efficient. You would have to remove this amplifier right here, you would be able to get to the V8, but all of it would go back via machine screws. Not only the 8-channel DSP amplifier, we also needed the 12-channel Helix DSP Ultra that sits behind this. So that's another 2.5 mil plate of aluminum that the DSP is mounted and connected to. And then all of this is using factory mounting locations, isolated with a plastic bracket. And I mean, you can't move this. Then we needed another place for the big copper 6.2, which powers the front 8-inch Signature Series 20th Anniversary Edition drivers. Real cool driver, handles a bunch of power. So we're gonna throw a bunch of AB power to them. Again, another plate that is 2.5 mil aluminum, mounted and secured via this plate right here, and then 2 mounting locations at the top and the bottom that also mount to factory screws or factory bolts, and then to wire it all up. If the owner of the vehicle ever decides to return this back to factory, we want it to be able to do it in a way where there's not a bunch of butt connectors and everything like that. Factory amp was relocated, tested with an oscilloscope along with the RTA, so I know all of the signal ranges. I also know the voltage and clipping of every single one of the channels, and then DT'd connectored the inputs and outputs. And what that allows me to do is if he ever wants to return back to factory, I could disconnect these two and then plug them back into each other, and it allows me to go back to factory wiring without anything. And then this whole harness, which goes into the V8 and then also the copper amplifiers, is essentially removable as well. We did have to run additional wires into the rear doors, the front doors, because for some reason they decided on using 22 gauge speaker wire in the front doors. So we disassembled the roll-lock connectors that are in the doors and fed new wires. So now it's got 14 gauge OFC running to each doors.